Hey everybody, Eustace the Monk here with a quick update on Fragmented. Apparently it's had a full release now. Yeah, I found out about the full release of Fragmented because there was a sudden uptick of traffic on my review of Fragmented, and that struck me as kind of bizarre because it was a lousy game and half finished and barely in an alpha state. And I was like, well, maybe it's on sale. That's usually what happens when a kind of obscure game gets an upswing in traffic like the one that had. So I checked it out on the Steam page, and one of the things I found that was really hilarious was how they worded that they actually released their own game as a full 1.0 release. It's quite unlike any I've ever seen. Usually they have quite a bit more fanfare than this. It's pretty hilarious. Check this out. August 15th here. Today we have moved Fragmented into a released state after 16 months and more than 30 patches in early access. And there'll be a 40% off launch sale for the next week. Whoopie fucking do. I mean, maybe it's, a good game now. That's what I thought anyway. Here we go. We wanted to look back at some of the noteworthy improvements that occurred during early access and blah, 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 blah. I loaded it up to see what it was all about. And I found virtually no difference between the version that I played for my review and the final release version. It's still, I'm flabbergasted that they're calling this the final release. It's been moved to a released state. Well, it's barely in an alpha condition right now. It sucks. Everything that was in my original review has not been fixed. The only real difference that I found was that I couldn't figure out how to start a brand new game, so I was stuck playing the old game that I was playing before, which mattered virtually not at all because, the combat, here, check out, the combat's still buggy as shit. I have some footage of that. My club that I had crafted was grayed out and I couldn't use it, so I guess they changed the recipe on that, so I had to craft a new club that seemed virtually identical to the old club. The looting system is still ridiculous. The crafting system's still horrible. The recipes are still bizarre as fuck. That's pretty much it. As a matter of fact, the only difference I could really see between the push to a released version of Fragmented and the Fragmented that I, gave a thumbs down to, is that, well, all my buildings were listed as being abandoned, which is always a really good indication that you're dealing with a shitty early access game that's multiplayer only. They don't have any sort of really good single-player experience mapped out or even implemented. So you're starting a multiplayer server, whether you want to or not, just to play a single-player game, and therefore it's putting counters and timers on all of your structures so that if you don't log in, it'll list them as being abandoned for the other players. If you just build a bunch of crap and then piss off and never play again, there needs to be a way of dealing with all the crap that you put into the world that other people know how to deal with. But on a single player game, why would you do that? Well, yeah. It's always, and I don't understand why game designers continually make early access games with multiplayer emphasis, because there's not going to be anyone playing them. I mean, games with a multiplayer emphasis should be confined to AAA studios and AAA publishers only, because only they are going to get the user base to make the game worthwhile playing. A small studio is going to be happy selling 10,000 copies of their game. So that means at most 10,000 people are going to be playing, and none of them are going to be playing at once. And so you're going to be lucky if you have 2 other people on the server with you. That's just the way the numbers work. I have yet to play a multiplayer emphasized game like Fragmented, like Orlight, like games like that, like Grav, that's any good to play. Period. So, now that I've done my little rant, stay away from Fragmented, it sucks. If you really want a crafting sci-fi game, go with Empyrean Galactic Survival. If you're looking for more of a building, fortress building kind of vehicular building, block by block game. For more of an action kind of base building game, I would go with Eden Star. If you're looking for a good sci-fi crafting game, go with either of those two. As a matter of fact, I think Fragmented is often compared to Empyrean or Eden Star, and that, you know, people will say, oh yeah, Eden Star and Empyrean, they're really fun games, I enjoy playing them. Fragmented, it really sucks, and I feel bad that I bought it. Here's another funny thing. The developers actually getting roasted in their comments of their release here. Check it out. I got the game for free and still feel cheated. Are you guys serious? 16 months? A game of this scope needs at least twice that time to even be in the beta stages. The game is too buggy for release. Here's release an unfinished game, really? The devs are basically giving up. Yeah, just don't bother with Fragmented. It's a waste. It's a waste.